Have you ever feel behind in life without actually knowing what you are behind on? You have seen someone your age getting married, someone buys a house, someone gets promoted, someone starts a business, someone seems to have their entire life figured out, and suddenly anything in your own life changing, you feel like you are falling behind. Nothing got worse. Your reality stayed exactly the same. Yet, somehow, the way you feel about your life changed the feeling. I think a lot of people carry this feeling, the feeling that they should be further ahead by now, making more money, more success, more established, more certain, more something. There is always something more. And what's interesting is that most people never stop to ask a simple question: ahead according to whom? Personal observation. I feel this myself. There were moments when I looked around and felt like everyone else had a clearer direction. People my age exactly knows where they are seem to going, building relationships, building futures. And I remember sitting after work one night, exhausted, scrolling through my phone, wondering why I feel like everyone else is moving fast. The strange thing was that when I looked closely towards that feeling, I couldn't actually explain what I was behind on. I just knew I felt it. The invisible story. And I think because most people inherited a story long before they create one. A story about what a successful life is supposed to look like, what progress is supposed to look like, what time is supposed to look like. School by this age, career by this age, relationship by this age, success by this age. Nobody formally handed you this story. It arrives quietly, silently, through families, through cultures, through school, and through social media, through the lives of the people around you. And before you realize it, the story becomes the ruler that you use to measure your life against. The real source of pressure. I think most people are not consciously competing with everyone around them. I think other people simply remind them of a story they are already carrying. When someone's life feels ahead of yours, it activates a question that was quietly sitting in a background. Should I be further ahead by now? The pressure feels personal, but the story creating it often isn't. The pattern revealed. I think most people feel behind long before they know what they are trying to catch up to, because the feeling is not really about reality. It's about a story about where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to have, who you're supposed to become. And once that story is installed, you start measuring yourself against it, often without realizing it. The cost. This is where things become dangerous, because when you constantly focus on the thing where you're supposed to be, you stop paying attention to where you actually are. You stop noticing your own pace, your own path, your own timing, your own life. And after a while, life starts feels like a race more than an experience. The identity seed. And when you inherited a timeline, you often inherited an identity too. A picture of who you're supposed to be, what success is supposed to look like, what kind of person you're supposed to become. And if you never question the story, then there is a very good chance that you haven't questioned the identity that has attached to it either. Maybe you are not behind. Maybe you are living at the different phase than the story you inherited. Maybe the feeling of being behind is not a proof that something is wrong with your progress. Maybe it's an evidence that you are still measuring yourself against a story that you have never chosen consciously. So, maybe the real question is not how do I catch up? Maybe the question is who convinced me I was late at the first place?